Ever wondered why the sales clearance tags are red? Let's find out the clever brain science behind this marketing. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Evoke Media Group. I'm Ryan Chai. Today we're going to be talking about the use of color in marketing, its science and its art, and the impact it has on us physiologically, psychologically, and culturally. This is where art and science meet. Our relationship with color starts in the eye, but really it's processed in the brain. Neuroscience has come a long way in helping us understand the effects of color as it relates to our body's physiology. For example, we know that the color red will increase heart rate and increase anxiety in a human. Biologically speaking, this might have to do with the fact that the color of blood or fire might be warning signs for us to get out of danger. Now in marketing, we use this color to prompt action, and it is now strongly correlated culturally to those things that stop us in our tracks, just like a stop sign. We understand that different wavelengths of light also have an effect on us. Blues, for example, calm us and make us feel comfortable and safe. Is it any wonder that big tech has a lot of blue logos in their use? They want you to feel safe on social media, like it's secure, like you're secure and your data is secure. This is not by mistake. Apple, for example, uses the color white to communicate cleanliness, modernity, and state-of-the-art. But this doesn't always apply equally. Physiologically, there are things like the color red that we talked about, but culturally, there are some other aspects and variables that come into play. For example, in the West, white represents purity and cleanliness, culturally speaking. We use white on a bride as she is getting married or in a baptism. But black has a connotation or the association psychologically to death and mourning and sorrow. However, in the East, in China, this is inverted. Death is something represented by white. And so as we think about adaptation in different markets, from a marketing perspective, we have to understand that there are strong associations, psychologically speaking, to color. And what we film in the United States, and as we use color to communicate those things in the United States or in Europe, it may not apply as exactly in China or in Asia. Something to keep in mind. This is why we recommend at Evoke Media Group, understanding your target audience is critical before you even start talking pre-production, before we even start talking set design or costume, wardrobe, makeup, or even color grading. All of those decisions creatively are done after we understand who we are targeting, because it may need a separate video. So we're going to have a little activity. I'm going to show some colors on the screen, and I want you to think as you see each color, think or speak out loud the way you feel. Observe the way you feel as each color flashes in front of you. We'll start now, and then when we get back, we'll talk about it. So this simple test helps reveal the instinctive nature of color as we feel things and as they have impact on us. Let's take a look at Coca-Cola, for example. Their iconic Coca-Cola Red, actually specified as a custom color, is critical to brand cohesion, but also in catching your attention on billboards, in videos, in ads, in photos, and otherwise. This is a call to action, even though it's not spoken. Now, to highlight again the importance of color, we now know it's psychologically important and we can feel the impact color has on us. I want to illustrate how it also impacts the messaging, and it can actually confuse or support the message that you're trying to say. We'll use this activity called the Stroop effect to highlight this. What we'll do is we'll put a color on the display here with a different word. And as you think about it, I want you to try and call out the correct color while you read the word. You might have a harder time at this than you think. This is because color actually has such a subconscious influence on our thought process. and how we perceive the world around us. This highlights that in marketing, the right color can help your message be unforgettable. Definitely keep in mind that you can confuse if you don't use the right color. One of the examples of a movie that I've loved, La La Land, shows the use of color symbolically. Each person, each character is going through the story and has a certain color, and those colors have meaning. To understand more about that, we will hear from these folks about that movie.
Just going through every single moment of the script, purely talking about color.
If there's a Mount Rushmore of costume designers, Mary Zofries is on it.
It was really about using costumes as an expressive tool and using the colors of these costumes as an expressive tool.
That's very much a Damien thing. The use of color and to make it strong and impactful, it is a solid color. And he's right about that. It makes a bolder statement and it's more instantaneous. It's immediate.
The misconception sometimes is in order to have a colorful movie is you just throw a lot of color at it. And actually, if you throw a ton of color on a canvas, it winds up not seeming colorful because the colors just start to muddle each other. You have to pick a lane, basically. And so that's what we tried to do for every single shot.
They fit into the palette and the color and the technicolor and the timelessness and the presence of the movie. It's fantastic.
So ultimately, how do we apply this to our video marketing? Well, I would ask you to ask yourself this next time you go to film a video for your customers or for yourself. What are you trying to communicate? How do you want your customer to feel? What action do you want them to take? And then carefully think about the colors that motivate that action. It may be a yellow like our branding here at Evoke Media Group. It may be a subtle red. One thing to keep in mind though, is that when everything becomes the same and there's no contrast, we lose the message or the impact that that message has. For example, I would advise not to make everything in your branding red, lest you be washed out, or the thing you're trying to say be washed out. This goes back to the principle of contrast, which we'll talk about in a different video. So you want to make sure that you accent with color, that you call attention with certain things with color at the right time and in the right way. Remember that understanding color psychology isn't just about improving aesthetics of your brand. It's about forging connection and motivating customers to act in a way that's conducive to your campaign. If you'd like more tips about how to use video marketing and the art of marketing, consider following us. We would love to be a part of coloring your success journey. See you next time.